everyone, welcome back to Interviews with Plants. Today we're going to be doing some winter identification. We're going to be looking at black cottonwood, also known as Populus balsamifera subspecies trichocarpa. This is a large, woody, deciduous tree that's common in our region. You can often find it along trail sides and riverbanks. Whenever I'm trying to identify a plant in the wintertime, I like to step back and look at the whole silhouette or shape of the tree from a distance. With black cottonwood, they tend to have an overall, what we call excurrent growth pattern, where there's one main trunk that goes up quite tall. Cottonwood also sometimes branches, but usually high up in the canopy. We can sometimes get cottonwood and bigleaf maple mixed up in the wintertime. However, bigleaf maple tends to branch into multiple branches lower down the stem, whereas cottonwood, as I mentioned, has an overall upright shape with several large branches up top. Another tip for telling them apart is to look at the branching pattern. So even if you look way high up, you should be able to see on a black cottonwood that the branching pattern is alternate, meaning the branches or buds alternate along the stem. However, this is quite different from our bigleaf maple, which will have opposite branching pattern and opposite buds high up in the canopy. Black cottonwood is also quite brittle in terms of its branching and often drops large branches and small twigs throughout the winter. So it's easy to find cottonwood branches on the ground underneath a cottonwood tree. The mature bark of a black cottonwood is kind of a gray or tan color with very thick furrows and deep grooved bark. This can be quite similar in appearance to the native bigleaf maple as well. The immature bark of a cottonwood can be quite variable. This is a young twig that came out close to the base of a tree. You can see it's kind of an olive color with little white dots called lenticels. You can see the buds are quite close to the stem, which we call oppressed. These are oppressed buds. If you look on the ground, you'll often find mature twigs that have fallen out from higher up in the canopy. They look quite a bit different from the immature twig I found lower below. If you look closely at the mature twigs, you'll notice that they're quite gnarly. They almost look like knuckles along the stem, and the buds actually come off at a sharp, almost 45-degree angle instead of being tight against the stem like the younger twigs were. Buds from higher up in the branch are also often quite a bit larger than branches lower down. Let's look at the buds. The buds of a black cottonwood are generally quite large and olive green in appearance. If you squish them, they have a unique stickiness to them. They leave behind a residue that's quite fragrant as well. Cottonwood buds are quite medicinal. You can actually take the buds of a cottonwood and make something out of them called balm of Gilead by infusing them in oil and then mixing the oil with beeswax. They have quite strong medicinal properties. If you look closely at the bud, you'll notice underneath it there's a small leaf scar from last year's leaf. It's triangular in shape and has 3 black dots in it. Those 3 black dots are the vascular bundle scars of where the leaf veins were attached within the petiole or the leaf stalk in the previous year. In early spring, these buds will open up and reveal the catkins for next year's flowers and all the little baby leaves as well that are tucked inside. If you look on the ground, you'll often find the leaves of the cottonwood. They have an overall delta shape or heart shape. They're quite durable, so you can often find them lasting throughout the whole winter. They can vary in size considerably from small to very large, depending on if they came from the top canopy of the tree. So those are some of the important things to look at when you're trying to identify black cottonwood in the wintertime. Be sure to look at more than one trait before you make your final identification. So let's thank the black cottonwood for its time and tune in next time to more interviews with plants.